There are people who are born like a flame that never burns out. They don't live to comply, they live to lead the way. Every step they take, whether deep in the forest or in a noisy city, carries something very different. It's not rebellion. It is the awakening of a Sagittarius soul, the favorite child of the universe, carrying within them the bloodline of freedom, truth, and miracles. So, what makes being a Sagittarius considered a divine blessing? Not just for themselves but for everyone around them? Why, in a world full of chaos, is Sagittarius the symbol of healing, light, and hope? In the next 30 minutes, I, someone who has spent a lifetime studying ancient astrology, esoteric wisdom, and the essence of the human soul, will take you on a journey to uncover the 9 deepest reasons why the presence of a Sagittarius is a priceless gift from the universe. This is not just a video, but a soul map for those born under this zodiac sign. And if you are a Sagittarius, or have one who has walked through your life, stay until the very last minute, because you will never see them the same way again. Comment: I embrace the destiny map of Sagittarius. Not just to affirm yourself, but to connect with the energy of Jupiter, your ruling planet, guiding you to heights you've never reached before. If you feel this is touching your heart, please like and share this video to spread the radiant energy of Sagittarius to more people. Remember, what you give to the universe will return to you, doubled in miracle. There is one thing that ancient astrology has always affirmed: each zodiac sign is a living symbol of a unique cosmic energy. And when you look at Sagittarius, the first thing that comes to mind is not personality, not behavior, but a beam of light in motion. A beam of light that refuses to stand still, that does not accept being caged. Sagittarius is the symbol of the archer. But the bow they draw is not aimed at people, not shot at fear. The arrow of Sagittarius is aimed at the horizon, where life's greatest questions lie, where the human soul yearns to reach for liberation. In astrology, Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, rules Sagittarius. And Jupiter is unlike any other planet. It represents expansion, knowledge, spirituality, enlightenment, and miracles. That means, when you are born under the sign of Sagittarius, you are not just a person, you are a living map, designed to bring light to others. Have you noticed that wherever a Sagittarius shows up, the place becomes charged with energy? Not because they try to attract, but because they cannot help but shine. When you talk to a Sagittarius, you'll feel like your spirit is being recharged. They don't motivate, in a logical sense, but through a deep belief that life, no matter how chaotic, always holds a sacred meaning waiting to be discovered. And that is why Sagittarius is never content with reality. They always see further, ask deeper, and keep moving forward, while many are still stopped at their first fear. The presence of a Sagittarius in a community, a circle of friends, a relationship, is an invitation for each of us to live bigger, bolder, and braver. When you're near a Sagittarius, you'll remember something your soul has always known. Life is a grand adventure, and you have the right to live it with all your heart. And that is just the first reason why Sagittarius is a rare blessing in this world. But how do they keep that fire from ever going out? What makes Sagittarius so untamable, so unstoppable, and always breaking free from every limitation? The answer lies in reason number 2, where we will unveil the secret of the blazing freedom fire burning within every Sagittarius. Don't leave the video, because what comes next will show you why no one can ever possess a Sagittarius. They belong to horizons that haven't even been named yet. Reason 2. Within every Sagittarius is the fire of freedom, no one can cage it. If there is one thing that makes the universe cautious when sending Sagittarius to this world, it is the blazing fire of freedom within them, a fire no one can touch, and no one can extinguish. In astrology, the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, all carry intense life force. But only Sagittarius belongs to the mutable fire group, fire that does not sit still, does not stay, but always moves, spreads, and expands. It is not a fire that burns down, but a fire that lights the way. Sagittarius is someone who will never live small, because they deeply feel that their soul was born to fly, to cross borders, to overcome fear, to transcend their limits. That's why anyone who's ever tried to control a Sagittarius will always fail. Not because they're selfish or rebellious, but because control goes against the very essence of their soul. They need space. They need sky. They need a life without limits. But don't be mistaken, Sagittarius's freedom is not irresponsibility. Their freedom is a sacred state, where they can be true to themselves, and from there, become the best version of themselves to offer to the world. When Sagittarius is free to soar, the world is lit by the path they create. And if you're lucky enough to have a Sagittarius beside you, don't try to hold them. Fly with them, because the place they're headed to might just be the road that leads you to your highest destiny. Reason 3. Sagittarius sees the world through the eyes of the soul. They live to seek meaning, not just success. There is something not everyone understands about Sagittarius. They don't live just to achieve great things, but to understand why those things exist. In the astrological chart, Sagittarius rules the 9th house, the house of philosophy, spirituality, belief, higher learning, and truth. That means they cannot live a shallow life. Every why question in them is an invitation to go deeper into the essence of this world. In the eyes of Sagittarius, a human being is not just a body, but a soul on the journey of evolution. A failure is not simply an end, but a lesson the universe sends. A pain is not meant to break them, but to help them grow and better understand themselves. Sagittarius lives as if they carry the heart of a philosopher and the soul of a pilgrim. They are not afraid to ask questions. They don't avoid the dark corners of life. And because of that, being around Sagittarius inspires you to see the world through a completely new lens. A lens where every experience is sacred. Every person has meaning. And every path leads back to your true self. Sagittarius is not just someone who inspires, they are someone who makes you begin the journey back to your own soul. But what's even more magical? Because they live so deeply, life often gives them blessings no one can explain. In Reason 4, we will enter the mystical realm of Jupiter's influence, where luck is not coincidence, but a frequency response to the vibration Sagittarius sends out. Don't miss it, because what you're about to discover could change the way you receive fortune in your life. Reason 4. Luck comes to Sagittarius not by chance, but through the frequency of trust and expansion. Have you ever seen someone who always ends up in the right place at the right time? Someone who seems accidental, yet always meets benefactors, always finds open doors, always escapes danger by a hair? Very likely, they are Sagittarius. In astrology, Jupiter is known as the Great Benefic. No planet better represents expansion, prosperity, luck, opportunity, and miracles than Jupiter, and that is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. But that luck doesn't come from randomness. It comes from a high vibrational state, where Sagittarius lives with a positive mindset, an open heart, and an almost unshakable trust in life. They believe the world is a place worth exploring. They believe failure is temporary, and the journey always rewards those who are brave. And that belief is the key. Because the law of attraction, affirmed by mystics, astrologers, and modern quantum physicists alike, says, the frequency you emit determines the experience you attract. Sagittarius emits the vibration of trust, openness, optimism, and boldness. And the universe responds with wide open doors and coincidences that are hard to believe. So if you're seeking luck, learn to live like a Sagittarius. Act without calculation, trust without doubt, and move as if you've already been blessed. Because you truly are. If you carry the heart of a Sagittarius within you. Reason 5. When Sagittarius loves, it's not just a relationship, but a sacred soul journey. Maybe you've been loved before. Maybe you've loved, but loving a Sagittarius is an entirely different experience. It doesn't feel like a relationship. It feels like the beginning of a sacred journey. For Sagittarius, love cannot be confined in old boxes, cannot be repeated like a formula. Love for them is a journey, a space where two people learn together, explore, grow, and soar beyond their limits. They don't love to possess. They love to be free together, to discover better versions of themselves with their partner. In the eyes of Sagittarius, the person they love is not just a lover, but a soul companion, a soulmate, a companion of truth. And because of that, if you're in a relationship with a Sagittarius, you will feel the full breath of life, no lies, no petty drama, only sincerity, raw emotion, and a deep longing to live authentically. They may love you with all their heart, but if they feel you are no longer yourself, if the connection is no longer free, they will let go, not because they stopped loving, but because they never want to love within a cage. But if you are someone who can love with a free heart like they do, you will have a life partner, a soul confidant, and a guiding light, all in one Sagittarius. Sagittarius doesn't just love with the heart, they love with the entire spiritual path they are walking. But what makes them able to love so honestly, live so bravely, and speak truth even when it makes them seem difficult? That's what we'll discover in Reason 6. Because to Sagittarius, truth is not just a value, it is a religion. Reason 6. To Sagittarius, truth is a religion, and they are willing to live and love only through it. There is one thing Sagittarius will never accept: deception, whether in words, actions, or emotions. To them, living without honesty is like shooting an arrow into the void, no direction, no purpose, no meaning. In astrological essence, Sagittarius is the symbol of the philosopher, the spiritual explorer, the seeker of ultimate truth. They are born to question, to doubt the obvious, and to dig into what no one dares to confront. And deep inside, they carry an unspoken vow to never live against their own truth. That's why Sagittarius can become brutally honest. But that honesty doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from their belief that only truth can liberate the human soul. If you ask a Sagittarius to say what you want to hear, you may be disappointed. But if you ask them what you need to hear, they are the ones who will speak it, even when the whole world stays silent. And because of that, relationships with Sagittarius, whether in love, friendship, or partnership, are mature ones. They won't let you live a lie. They will push you out of your comfort zone, force you to look in the mirror and ask, am I living true to who I really am? So if you've ever felt a Sagittarius is too much, stubborn, or too brutally honest, understand this: they are trying to keep your light of truth from going out. And in a world full of illusion, that is one of the rarest gifts of all. Reason 7. Sagittarius is a living source of motivation. They don't just inspire. They awaken the courage that sleeps within you. There are people who appear in your life like a song, a book, or sunlight after the rain. They don't try to teach you anything, but just being around them makes you want to live, and live brightly. That is the effect Sagittarius creates. They don't preach, but they live as if each day is a profound lesson. They don't force inspiration, but the burning passion within them spreads like wildfire. When Sagittarius talks about a dream, you see it as more achievable. When they share a lesson from failure, you stop fearing falling. When they look at you with trust, you begin to believe in yourself. That's because Sagittarius doesn't live to be admired. They live to awaken the best part of every soul they touch. And their very presence is a reminder that life is not to be feared, but to be explored, not to be obeyed, but to challenge the limits, not to be lived in repetition, but to move closer each day to the person you were born to become. Near Sagittarius, you can't stay small, because the light in them will stir the light in you to rise, to burn, to live. And that is also how Sagittarius heals the world. Not through their hands, not through theory, but through their raw, inspiring, and authentic presence. So what allows them to keep their soul free and continue to ignite that light, even when facing pain or challenge? The answer will be revealed in Reason 8. As we explore the soul of the pilgrim, why Sagittarius never stops moving, and why each step they take on this earth carries a miraculous healing energy. Reason 8. Sagittarius carries the soul of the pilgrim. Every step they take is a journey of healing. Some people are born never meant to sit still. They don't belong to one place. Don't settle into any limit. They crave to move, to see, to truly live, as if only in motion do they feel they are truly alive. That is Sagittarius. In astrology, the 9th house ruled by Sagittarius speaks not only of philosophy and academia, but of journeys beyond the familiar, both external and internal. New destinations, foreign cultures, spontaneous encounters with strangers, all of these activate the sacred frequency in Sagittarius. But the magic is, Sagittarius doesn't travel just to observe. They travel to transform. Every place they step into, they leave behind light. Every conversation they have, they leave behind a piece of healing. They carry a non-judgmental gaze, an open heart to the world, and a spirit of exploration that always knows. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, your skin color, or your circumstances, our souls can still connect and learn from one another. And that's why Sagittarius can connect with anyone, anywhere, not through language, but through the frequency of freedom, sincerity, and understanding. When Sagittarius leaves, they don't carry riches or trophies. The only thing they bring back is themselves, a version more mature, more profound, and closer to truth. And that endless journey is the journey of them becoming light. Reason 9. Sagittarius is a symbol of the awakening era. They live to expand the boundaries of all humanity. If there's a zodiac sign born to lead the new age, it's Sagittarius. In a world shifting from the old to the new, from structure to freedom, from control to connection, Sagittarius is the living symbol of what humanity is now searching for, the ability to expand endlessly. In the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment, technology, soul connection, and breaking stereotypes, Sagittarius is the one who keeps the primal fire of wisdom, curiosity, and liberating thought. They don't live just for themselves. They live to ask questions that society still hesitates to face. They walk ahead of the crowd, see the horizon when others are still stuck behind the wall. They are pioneers, not just in action, but in thought, emotion, and spirit. And the greatest thing about Sagittarius is, they don't keep that enlightenment to themselves. They share it, through stories, through their eyes, through simple yet inspiring acts. If you are a Sagittarius, know this: you're not just living a life, you are living a mission. A mission to be the light. A mission to remind the world that freedom is sacred, truth is powerful, and the human soul is infinite. Closing, a gift from the universe. Maybe you've doubted yourself. Maybe you've felt lost, like no one understands you, like no one can keep up with you. But I want to say this, from the heart of someone who has watched the stars for half a century. If you are a Sagittarius, you are a blessing. Not by accident, but by divine design from the universe. You are the arrow pointing to the sky, the flicker of light in the darkness, the one whose presence makes others believe in miracles again. And if you feel this message has touched your heart, leave a comment below. I am a Sagittarius, and I'm ready to shine according to my destiny. Like, share this video with someone you think needs to remember their inner light. Because what you give, the universe will return to you, like a miracle. Sagittarius, the gift of freedom and light the universe sent to this world. As someone bearing the mark of Sagittarius, you are not just a person moving through life. You are a living flame, a walking map of freedom, truth, and discovery. You weren't born to confine yourself in boxes. You were born to break limits, awaken awareness, and inspire the world. In a world full of restrictions and doubt, the presence of a Sagittarius is a healing miracle, a reminder that truth always exists, freedom is always worth it, and the soul can always fly if you dare to believe. These 9 reasons today aren't just to help you understand Sagittarius better. They are here so you may recognize yourself if you belong to this zodiac sign. Because being a Sagittarius is a blessing. And living as a Sagittarius is how you spread that light to those still lost in their own darkness. If you feel these words speak to your true nature, comment right now, I am a Sagittarius, and I was born to light the way. It's not just a declaration, it's how you connect with the energy of Jupiter, the planet leading you to expansion, prosperity, and awakening. And if you know someone who is a Sagittarius or carries this powerful zodiac energy, send them this video. Because sometimes, just one reminder is enough to awaken the light they forgot they had inside. If you found this video valuable, like, subscribe, and share it to spread the spirit of freedom, inspiration, and enlightenment to many more. Because the universe always responds, and what you give with your heart will always return to you like a miracle.